It's strange how a feeling can start without your permission. You don't choose it. You don't plan it. You don't even notice it at first. It just grows quietly in the background of your life, like a shadow that keeps getting longer, even though you swear the light hasn't changed. And by the time you finally see it clearly, it's already too late. You're in it. You're feeling it. You're carrying it. And you don't know how to put it down. It starts with small things. The way they talk, the way they laugh, the way they look at you when they're actually paying attention. You tell yourself, it's nothing. You tell yourself you're imagining it. You tell yourself you're just bored or lonely or tired. But deep down, you know exactly what's happening. You just don't want to admit it, because admitting it means facing the truth. You want someone you can't have. And that's a different kind of pain. Not the dramatic kind. Not the kind people write songs about. It's the quiet kind. The kind that sits in your chest and makes everything feel slightly heavier. The kind that doesn't have a clear beginning or end. The kind that doesn't explode. It lingers. You try to act normal. You try to be the version of yourself that doesn't feel anything. You try to be the friend who laughs at the right moments and listens without letting your heart show. You try to swallow the feeling, bury it, hide it, pretend it's not there. You try to convince yourself you're fine, but pretending doesn't make it disappear. It just makes it quieter. And quiet things have a way of growing. You start noticing things you didn't before. The way they talk when they're tired. The way they smile when they're genuinely happy. The way their eyes soften when they're comfortable. The way they lean in slightly when they're telling you something important. You start memorizing things without meaning to. You start replaying moments in your head. You start wondering if they felt anything too, even though you know you shouldn't. And that's where the ache begins, in the space between what you feel and what you're allowed to feel. Because wanting someone you can't have is a strange kind of heartbreak. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's not the kind of pain people recognize. It's quiet. It's patient. It's the kind of hurt that sits in your chest and waits for you to acknowledge it. It's the kind of hurt that doesn't have a clear beginning or end. It just exists. You don't get to be angry. They didn't do anything wrong. You don't get to be sad. Nothing technically happened. You don't get to complain. You don't get to ask for more. You don't get to cross any lines. You don't get to rewrite the situation. You don't get to change the timing. You don't get to turn almost into something. You just get to feel it, silently, privately, alone. And that loneliness is the part people don't talk about. The way you carry it without telling anyone. The way you swallow it because you don't want to make things weird. The way you pretend you're fine, because admitting the truth feels like losing something you never had. The way you sit with the ache, because there's nowhere else for it to go. You don't get closure. You don't get answers. You don't get a moment where everything becomes clear. You don't get a conversation that fixes anything. You don't get a goodbye. You don't get an ending. You just get the slow, uncomfortable acceptance that some feelings don't turn into anything. They just stay. And you learn to live around them. You learn to breathe around them. You learn to carry them without letting them spill. You learn to act normal even when you're not. You learn to smile even when it stings. You learn to be near them without letting your heart show. You learn to be strong in ways no one sees. You learn to let go without actually letting go. You learn to exist in that strange in-between space where wanting and accepting happen at the same time. And it changes you, not in a dramatic way, not in a tragic way, just in a human way. It softens you. It humbles you. It teaches you things you didn't want to learn. It makes you understand yourself differently. It makes you realize how deeply you can feel, even when you try not to. It makes you see how vulnerable you really are, even when you pretend you're not. It makes you human. And maybe that's the part you don't want to admit, that caring this much doesn't make you weak. It makes you real. It makes you alive. It makes you capable of connection. It makes you capable of love, even if it's quiet, even if it's unreturned, even if it's inconvenient. Because the heart doesn't care about boundaries. It doesn't care about labels. It doesn't care about what's right. It cares about warmth. It cares about connection. It cares about the way someone makes you feel seen without trying. It cares about the way someone makes you feel alive without knowing it. And maybe one day you'll meet someone who chooses you back, someone who doesn't make you question your worth, someone who doesn't make you shrink yourself to fit the situation, someone who doesn't make you pretend you're fine, someone who doesn't make you carry your feelings alone, someone who doesn't make you feel like wanting is a mistake, someone who stays. But until then, you carry this truth quietly. You loved someone you couldn't have, and that love, even unreturned, shaped you. It didn't break you. It didn't ruin you. It didn't define you. It just became a part of you. A soft, quiet part that reminds you how deeply you can feel, how deeply you can care, how deeply you can want something, even when you know you can't have it. And maybe that's enough. Maybe the point wasn't to have them. Maybe the point was to learn something about yourself. Maybe the point was to understand your own heart better. Maybe the point was to realize you're capable of real, honest, vulnerable feeling. The kind that doesn't need permission, the kind that doesn't need validation, the kind that doesn't need a happy ending to matter. Maybe the point was simply to feel, and you did, deeply, quietly, honestly, humanly. And that's something you don't need to be ashamed of. Because wanting someone you can't have isn't foolish. It isn't embarrassing. It isn't pathetic. It's human. And being human, even when it hurts, is nothing to apologize for. You'll carry this feeling for a while, maybe longer than you want to, maybe longer than you think you should, but eventually it will settle. It will soften. It will become something you remember instead of something you live. It will become a chapter instead of a weight. It will become a story instead of a wound. And when that happens, you'll realize something important. You didn't lose anything. You didn't fail. You didn't break. You didn't fall apart. You just felt something real in a world where most people are too afraid to feel anything at all. And that's not weakness. That's strength. Quiet strength. Soft strength. Human strength. The kind that doesn't need to be seen to be real. The kind that stays with you long after the feeling fades. The kind that makes you who you are. And maybe, just maybe, that's the whole point.